so 250s, just before we get started, if anybody's wondering, I know we have been shooting with a two-camera, two-angle setup here since the beginning of the season. We are going to continue doing that. However, I have a 5:18 a.m. flight tomorrow, and it's noon on Monday, so I need to get this shot edited and uploaded and all set to go before I go to bed tonight, and I just don't have time to do that with two cameras. It's way too long of a process, so we're doing...
Boy will be gone for 2 weeks.
Yep. So next week in the Atlanta, you are going to get I've decided a Weege Show-esque podcast, which is basically I'm going to walk around wherever I'm at in Florida with that camera and talk to you guys about the race, and then Daytona round, we will actually be there, and I will do another probably solo show immediately following the race while I wait for traffic to clear out.
You might be able to find me. I'll be.
I was gonna say, yeah, if you're gonna be there, then yeah, we could do a Weed Show walk around with the two of us.
Yeah, I might be able to do something. I don't know.
So yeah, to film that show. But just so you guys know, the shows are gonna look a little different here this week and the next couple weeks, and then we'll be back to normal after that. I will be in Daytona, Indy, and Detroit. Are you going to all three too?
Possibly, yeah. I don't know about Indy yet.
Okay. So anyway, so let's get into 250s here. First on my list, I had Shane.
What you got on Shane?
Well, he got a horrible start in that first main, which he did, but he came through.
Yep.
He hole shots the third race and wins it. I don't remember his second race. I didn't have any notes for him on the second race.
I think in that third race he was definitely the fastest guy. Sexton tried cutting into it a little bit, realized he couldn't, and backed her down.
See, I have a hard time with the third race just because Sexton knew all he had to do was finish right behind him and he won it.
Yeah.
So for me, that third race is kind of jaded. I mean, Shane got the start on him, but man, those first two races, Sexton
as a competitive motocross rider, you're gonna tell me that Sexton didn't try for a couple laps?
See, as a competitive guy, it's hard for me to think that way as far as
that he didn't at least try.
Yeah, they didn't at least try.
Yeah.
However, coming from a person who, like I think most of us, likes money, going this track is sketchy. It's the third main, and I don't have to push it to get him where something may happen. I can just chill, ride his pace behind him, which was pretty much what he did, and just pick up this overall and get my bonus 150K and call it a day. I mean, that's where my mind goes. And again, I've never raced at that level, so it's hard for me to put myself in those shoes. But from the way I think right now, as just myself, it's like, okay, if I can get $150,000 and I don't have to put out any more effort than what I absolutely need to, which is just a mellow third moto ride. I mean, I'd like to think I would think that way and just cruise in, get my money, and get out of there with the tie for the points lead.
Yeah. He definitely showed that he can come through the pack a little bit though. Which was, I mean, in the first main, if that would have been a normal main, he would have had a couple extra laps. He ended up what, third?
Yes.
Fourth, maybe?
Third. No, he was third.
So, and I think he was right on the tail end of whoever was in second, maybe? Sexton? No, those two kind of gapped out.
Yes.
But anyway, he showed he could come through the pack and cut through the pack, which was a good sign. And obviously, when he gets a start, it's lethal.
It is.
So, no, I'm not shitting on him yet. I think like I said, I think he's gonna be the guy. Sexton, I think, is just he's gonna have a mental meltdown, in my opinion. I don't think he's there mentally.
I don't know. That's hard for me to say because I believe Sexton is a whole completely different animal than what he was last year. He's taken a step from last year. He was fast.
Was that second on your list? Let's just go right into him.
I mean, it wasn't second, but we can talk about him.
Well, he's the second one on your list, maybe.
No, he's actually the last.
It's
just the way
Let's
it worked
go into
out.
Sexton. He won the race. Let's talk about our race winner.
And this is where I struggle saying that McElrath was the fastest guy in that third moto because Sexton was the fastest guy all night until that third moto. That first moto ride by him to get dumped by RJ and then still come back for second.
No, yeah, that was good.
That was
good.
incredible.
Second one, he got the start and just did what he had to do.
Second one, he got it and just gapped out and was gone. So, like I said, it's really hard for me to say Sexton wasn't the best guy on the night, period, because of that third one.
Perfect scenario, I want to see that third main event to start in a normal main and see what happens. Shane out front, Sexton in second, what's going to happen?
To me, he just looks so much different than he did last year. He looks physically bigger than he did last year.
Doping?
I don't think so. I think he's just growing. He's only, what, 20, 19, something like that? He's young, if 20. So he's just physically bigger. He looks like he actually has some patience, and he looks like he actually has some sort of idea of how to race, if that makes sense. Not that he didn't know how to race last year, but it just looked,
he let
different.
get in his head a little bit, though.
I think, yes.
He just, like kind of like a crybaby syndrome a little bit.
I actually kind of expected him to
But he did own it up in the press conference. He owned up.
I was going to say, when that RJ incident happened, I expected him to stand up and be like, what the? But no, he just picked his bike up, and
maybe
went.
Somebody had a talk with him, I don't know. Maybe he watches this.
And yeah, I doubt that. And then the press conference, like you said, he just owned up.
He was completely honest. Like RJ was like, I owed him one.
Yeah, and he did not say anything about it. He just was like, it. And so yeah, so I think that's good. Crazy that they waited 6 months though, right?
No, it's probably the first shot he had.
I mean, I guess maybe, but most of those guys, it's like after the next week, they just kind of forget about it and go on with their lives. So.
Or maybe surprised. Maybe Anderson doesn't forget.
Well, yeah. Anderson's a different guy.
Barsha doesn't forget.
Oh, Barsha never forgets.
I don't think those guys forget.
Yeah, probably. So,
I mean, even when I race on Xbox every night, I don't forget.
Now him and Shane are tied though for points here. So we got 2 red plates next week in Atlanta. I mean, so we're basically 2 rounds in, and now we're starting over the points. But would you say that there's a fairly decent gap between those 2 and everyone else? I mean, you have some guys that can insert themselves, a la RJ winning that first moto. I think on a decent night, I think Martin's going to get up in there.
Martin's still growing and finding his foundation again, I think. For what he's been through and where he's been, and to come out and do what he's done.
Yep.
It's been pretty impressive. You can't knock that. When you break your back and have something that gnarly, and these guys none of those guys have really been hurt. They've raced outdoor, done the whole deal. Like, their fitness is there. They're solid. Like, I don't know. I think he's still kind of lacking on the fitness side.
That could be his problem. I don't know. He's underwhelming a little bit. Like, don't get me wrong. He was on the box last week. He's been fast, but
for a short dude, he goes through the whoops really well.
Oh yeah, he does. But he, to me, still is underwhelming compared to all this talk about how he was flying and he was pissed off at the world about what had happened to him. I kind of expected more of a presence.
I think the best is still to come from Martin.
Probably.
I think you'll see a more brilliant start flashing up for him.
Did like him and RJ get to like the last 3 rounds and start going back and forth at the front?
Let's move on to RJ. RJ, everybody's talking about this rebirth of RJ. He looks like the same damn guy.
Oh yeah. Oh, I wish Justin was here right now because me and him would be arguing.
He looks like the same guy to me.
Yep, he does. There's nothing different about it. First main he wins, we've seen RJ be fast before. Like, that was not a thing. That move where he put Sexton on the ground, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't dirty, but I still kind of go...
He wasn't French, so he didn't get booed.
Yeah, I still kind of go, that was probably unnecessary because if you watch that replay, he hit him pretty good. That was a pretty good shot.
Yeah, but there's a lot of momentum coming in there.
Yeah.
He came, I don't know. Another, again, racing deal.
Yep.
But he didn't get booed like the French guy did.
No, he did not.
And then the Smith thing, he barely touched Smith, and Smith just like...
Oh, Smith is just...
You could have blew him over.
But Jordan Smith was on the ground all night.
Yep.
Jordan Smith's panic button has to be going crazy at this point.
Yeah,
only 2 rounds in, but it still has to be going crazy.
Yeah, like what the hell?
I've heard, his wrist is not healed all the way.
From last year?
Yep. But I've heard it's a thing that it will never heal, so he's just got to deal with it. And then, I mean, this is just horrible. Like, this has to be one of the biggest letdowns of the season so far, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that's proven he can win races.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, if you're pro circuit, who else would you have picked up? There was nobody. There's nobody. Who would you
Jacob
have
Hayes.
Jacob Hayes ever podium?
I think Jacob Hayes
ever had the red plate?
I think Jacob Hayes
Ever won races?
I still think Jacob Hayes on a PC bike helps him take that next step. I mean, look at him. He has been riding privateer bikes in the top 5 for 2 years now.
But you got a guy that has won races, had the red plate at the last round, and should win a title.
Yeah, but we've seen this time and time again. Again, you want to talk about same old RJ? How about same old Jordan?
Yeah.
Can't stay off the fucking ground. Gets hurt.
Well, I would imagine Mitch Payton was like, hey, my program can help figure it out and straighten it out. And so far, it hasn't.
It has not, and I don't think it's going to. I think this is who he is.
This is who
he is.
This
Him
is
and RJ.
This is who he is, and this is who RJ is.
RJ may have a new bike, new trainer, maybe on that dope stuff, like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But this is who these guys are. There is no difference. And I don't think we're ever going to see a difference. Is RJ going to win races? Yes, I think RJ's going to win races.
He might squeak one out.
Yeah. Is Smith going to win races?
He's definitely, I think, a little faster than what he was. But the holding it together is not there.
But the faster is, I think that he can wind this bike out, because he's talked about it multiple times. The Husky can wind out real well.
Yeah.
And it holds together better than the Honda did. But again, look at Varsha riding that raggedy edge there on a bike that you shouldn't. I mean, RJ, same thing.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's down. I can already narrow it down to a 2-horse race.
Oh yeah, this is definitely going to be
3-horse race. 3-horse race. I'm not counting Martin out yet.
He's gonna have to start rattling off some.
Yeah, but I'm not counting him
here.
out yet. And the only other guy that I think might be able to squeak something in and have a very good ride toward the end of the season would be Marchbanks.
Yes.
I believe you can see him be up and in battle with those guys at some point.
Yep.
If not next year, you better watch out for him. And then the only other thing, 2 other things that I want to talk about in that 250 race that I saw.
Okay.
Josh Hill pulling a Holy.
I have that right here in the second main.
Yep, ran up front for a little bit. He hasn't ran that pace in a long time.
Nope, and I bet you he was huffing after that race.
Doesn't he look like Blake from Workaholics?
Oh my
you
god.
watch Workaholics?
His whole, the whole hair situation up here with him, I'm just like, just cut it all off and start over.
Yeah, he smokes pot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Anyway,
100%.
Anyway, him and Joey Crown, man, Michigan's own. Michigan's own, ran up front, stayed up front, did not let those guys bully him.
Nope.
Really holding it together because he used to have Smith syndrome.
That second main, dude, he was running second the entire main there.
Yeah.
It was impressive.
And for me, I think I said it on Twitter too. That's Twitter finger. He is. That is a perfect example of a guy that has had his downs in Supercross, figured it out, and has experience.
Yep.
And that's a guy that TLD KTM should be looking at, or that's a guy that Jalik Swole's bike should go to. Like those guys are coming out of amateurs and just shit in the bed.
Yep.
And I'm making 3 times the money Joey Crown's probably making.
Oh, guaranteed.
And riding 3 times slower.
Guaranteed.
Maybe. I don't know about 3 times
Oh, yeah.
slower. But that you get what I'm getting at. Like,
yep.
That's a guy they should look at for a ride, or a guy like Jacob Hayes. Like I'm not really agreeing with this whole amateur thing right now.
No.
I mean, it's cool to give some amateur guys a little bit of support, but not the full-on factory deal.
Nope. Mm-mm.
So.
Nope, because we don't have time to get into my thoughts on the amateurs.
Yeah.
But yes, Joey Crown, 5th in that race. I mean, ran second for a long time, and then when he started to get past, I was like, dude, don't freak out. Mm-hmm. It's just guys that should be going.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like Marchbanks, Martin. I'm like, these are dudes.
These are dudes like that.
Yeah,
these are dudes like on paper you should not even make anywhere.
Yes. So just don't freak out, and he didn't. He held it together, 5th, got 7th overall. That was great. One more thing I want to talk about. Can we talk about Smith jumping into Owen over the finish line? And I really thought that Owen was going to fight him, and
that was ignorant.
so.
You look at it like it looked like Smith just overshot the finish line too.
Oh, he did too. Like it was a major.
What was he thinking?
He's Jordan Smith. He's a fucking idiot. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking.
Like literally on my handwritten notes from that, I watched that a couple times and I wrote "fucking idiot" up next to Jordan Smith's name. I'm just like, what a dumbass.
There's just no patience there. Or something.
No,
I don't know.
If I was Owen, I'd have been pissed off too.
It ruined his night.
I'd have fought him though.
Ruined his
in
night.
the middle of the fucking thing. I'd have just been throwing blows, dude, at him.
All right,
Because Jordan Smith would probably bitch up,
Pike
right?
Tyson already.
Jordan Smith would bitch up, right? There's no way Smith's fighting.
I don't think so. There are very few guys I think that would scrap.
Yeah. But dude, when I saw Owen doing this to him and like walking towards him, I was like, oh, please throw something at him. This is gonna be awesome. But nothing. So any other thing with the 250? I mean, we can run through the top 10. So Sexton, McElrath, Hampshire, Martin was 4th, Marchbanks, Hill, Joey Crown, Enzo Lopes.
Dude, the whole Club MX team.
Oh yeah, yep.
Bikes look good.
And then Jalek Wolf rebounding from not making the main to 9th overall. That's not horrible.
980 cap, 52 points. Let's go.
And Joe Schmoda rounding out the top 10. Schmoda is solid there for
He's doing a lot better than I thought he would.
what I heard in the preseason, which was not good
It
as
was
far
terrible.
as Supercross
Yeah.
went. He has been a top 10 dude, which you can't complain about that out of a rookie.
No, I don't think so.
Especially a rookie that didn't really have a lot of hype. He's just a rookie, so
Yeah.
that's the Japanese experience.
Yeah, the Japanese. They really had. Who's the only other Japanese dude? Koga?
Yeah.
Akira Narita tried a little bit back in the day, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, so far he's making his name as the best Japanese guy ever.
Yep. So anything else with the 250s before we go to 450s?
We forgot to mention shit kits and lit kits, but we'll do that into the beginning of 450s.
Okay. Also, maybe sponsoring a rider for Detroit. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to figure this out.
Let's drop that in the beginning of the 450 section.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right. Quick break. We'll be back at 450s.